I want to share with you today a very unique story and how that led to a dream and how this led to a series of imaginative associations all about a chicken dinner road. And here's how it goes. A chicken dinner road actually was where I was going to find everything over the rainbow. You've heard the song Someday Over the Rainbow. This was the end of Chicken Road. I was going to find all the excitement and all the thrills and everything that I could possibly desire. And it all came from an associate with a dream. But first, the story of the actual Chicken Dinner Road, because it actually does exist. There is a Chicken Dinner Road. I will see if I can find this for you here on the split screen. There we go. Sharing on that. There you see, that's Chicken Dinner Road. And Chicken Dinner Road is a very special place. It exists in Idaho, and the story goes like this. A long time ago, there was a woman who by the name of Mrs. Lamb, and she was very, very famous for her fried chicken and her apple pie and all the things that they call fixins at this part of the world in Idaho. And one of the things that since she was so famous for her chicken dinners, then one of the things that she would do is she would invite people over for chicken dinner. She also lived at the very end of a rickety lane called Lane 12 that was just a horrible place to get to. It was like bumping along in a covered wagon with this very rural dirt road with lots of rocks in it and very difficult to get in and out of, particularly when it got to be the inclement weather of snow during the winter. And there's a lot of snow in Idaho. So she decided that she was going to do something about that. And she approached the governor of the time in the 1930s. She was rather familiar with the governor and they were friends. And so she approached him and said, "Hey, will you come on over and have a chicken dinner?" And while he was over and he had a chicken dinner, she told him that she would really just absolutely love it if he would do something about the roads and that the road was just horrible. And he said, "Well, tell you what, Mrs. Lamb, if you will do something about approaching the county commissioners to get it graded and ready to go, I'll make sure it gets the oil." So she went ahead and she contacted the county commissioners and said, "This is what I would like to have done. Can we do it?" She was a very determined woman and they agreed with her. "Okay, we'll do it for you." So they did it. And then she was very happy. She was going to have another chicken dinner along this road on her old style white farmhouse of the time. And before that happened on Halloween, there was somebody that wrote on the road itself, Lamb's Chicken Dinner Avenue. And so every time the children would go by there, they would start saying Chicken Dinner Road, Chicken Dinner Road, Chicken Dinner Road, and the sign stuck. And she was very upset about this because there had been no sign before this. And she was pretty mad. They said she was as mad as what they used to call a wet hen. This all relates to a dream because when you are doing dreaming, it's all about very loose associations. So if you really want to work that imagination, it's all loose associations. And my realization of the Chicken Dinner Road was brought to my attention from a loose association one night when I could remember no dreams at all. So I remember no dreams at all. And in the morning, I was like, well, I'd love to remember something. Some of my associative techniques, lying straight on the back and waiting for something to come to me, that didn't work. Even my allowing my mind to wander from one topic to the next so I can move myself back into a dream, that morning, that didn't work either. So I decided that I would just open myself up and perhaps something would come to me during the day because dreams often return. And that's what I found, that dreams will often return to you. And this one did to me. Let me go ahead and stop on this in the share screen. This one returned for me. So I was just looking through my Facebook posts in the morning, kind of letting my mind loose associate, which is the best way to move into the creative state that is associated with dreaming. And I came across a little associative exercise. And the woman wanted women to take their maiden name and then using the first letter of their maiden name, then associate what would be in the first letter of their name, the maiden name, on these particular words. And the first one was hat. So that was for me, hat, because what would you wear? Hat. Okay, I'll wear a hat. And the next one she said is that you needed to take a drink. So for me, a drink would be a hot toddy. That's a drink. And I went through this with an animal being a horse and a boy's name Harry, a girl's name Hattie. And let's see, the last one was, oh yes, a body part was a heel. And then I came to the area of place. And place for me was Hendrickson, which I thought was interesting because it was like the son of Hendrik. However, what that brought back to me in Hendrickson was an entire dream. And this is what often happens. We're going along our day and we don't really ever forget our dreams. They're actually there. And just for the littlest piece can bring it back to us. And this is what happened to me. So here I was wandering around, just looking on Facebook, and I found the name Hendrickson. And then an entire dream began to unfold, a very creative dream about the end of my search being at the end of, in the town of Hendrickson, a place called Chicken Dinner Road, which actually existed within my memory in a place I used to live in Idaho. So there was a dark Chicken Dinner Road and there was a light Chicken Dinner Road. And since I was looking for the name of this channel, I was told that it was very important to come up with the right name, and it was at the end of the Chicken Dinner Road. So all I need to do is go to the end of the Dinner Road. My dad was there cheering me on, and he's been gone for a long time, and he kept saying, "It's at the end of Chicken Dinner Road. It's the end of Chicken Dinner Road." And I came to the end of Chicken Dinner Road, and I felt like, yes, the name is going to come to me now. I'm at the end of the Chicken Dinner Road where the magic occurs. And the magic occurred indeed, just like it occurred when I came up with the name, my husband and I came up with the name of Dreamily for our cat. It was this loose associative state related to a dream. And here was the name, All Things Dreaming. Well, that makes sense. It's at the end of the Chicken Dinner Road. That's how crazy our associations can be. They can be so nuts that it's like this piece leads to this piece, leads to this piece, but they're not direct at all. They're very loose associations. Anyway, think about what would be an association in your own life. What would be an association that you could say, well, this is rather creative. This might go somewhere. This might have been a dream, or maybe this might have been something in my waking life. However, here's something I can play with. There's something that I could associate with. You could even try it like I did with some of these words. Remember, it's place and something to wear, and a boy's name and a girl's name, and something to eat. You could do it with a body part, just put a bunch of words down and start playing with loose associations. You could try it with another letter of your name and play with loose associations. And then let your mind wander and see what kind of things it would come up with. And I can guarantee that those things will be associated to a dream that you had, probably not too long ago. They will certainly be associated into your imagination, which is where your dreaming comes from, in that deeply imaginative state. And they can provide you with a great deal of entertainment, for one thing. And for another thing, perhaps the gateway into a story that you're creating, or the gateway into something else that you're loosely associating, that your dreaming self wants to tell you about. Not so sure how it's going to go. Your dreaming self wants to tell you all about it. And here you can let your mind wander, just like creative dreamers have throughout time. Let your mind wander and see what it comes up with. And let me know in the comments if you find this to be an interesting, intriguing idea for you. Hit subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will be making another one this upcoming week.